Let me hop off of Discord so I can listen just to the YouTube side of things.
Hey, now I can hear myself. All right. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Now I can hear myself echoing like 5 seconds later. Gotta stop that. Ah! All right. Now, why isn't the camera working? Let's see. That needs to be the life cam. No game audio, huh? What about now? Does that kind of fix things? Yeah, I can see the main output audio channel moving now. So I think that that part is working. This has not been the yeah, I just had to update OBS, and so this is a very rough go of getting things working again. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna try unplugging and replugging the camera in. Very daring, I know. But that's okay because I'm not the focus of tonight, anyways. While I am your affectionate host, I am but a humble vessel, and I am here to take you on a journey where we're going to reacquire the USS Oddjob and take it out for its second maiden voyage. And I'd really like. Okay, it looks like NVIDIA Broadcast is now working, so that part's good. So now you guys should not be able to hear my. Shouldn't be able to hear my AC unit in the background, which will be a little nicer. Let's see. What else could possibly be using my camera? That is the question, isn't it? Oh well. I'll have to get to that later because we want to play games. So maybe there's some creep out there watching me through the camera. They're getting away with it for now, but I will fix it after this session. So here we are at Hurston, our well, I was going to say lovely home, but it's not exactly that, is it? It's definitely not a great place to live, but it's an efficient one. It works for what we use it for. But we're actually going to have to go somewhere else because the Carrack is not sold here. Yeah, it's a roof over the head, exactly. Which is about all you can hope for sometimes. Inflation being what it is, whew, we're all lucky if we have roofs over our heads. But on the bright side, it didn't cost me $60 to fill up my gas tank, so things are slightly better. They're not good because good would be going back to pre-inflation, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. Anvil knows better than to sell something that nice at Lorville. Yeah. Anvil's got a reputation to uphold. They only sell the two of the ground vehicles when I was checking in the previous session. So yeah, Anvil is not giving a lot of love to Lorville. I remember a time where I used to get like 14 frames per second when I was on this train. And Lorville, as gross as the atmosphere is so much prettier when it's not a slideshow. These young whippersnappers jumping into Star Citizen today have no idea what they've been missing out on. All the janky bugs and the stutters. Game's doing a lot better than it was really just a year ago. Going back 1 year, totally different story. All right. Maybe we should take the Super Hornet to go pick up the Let's do it. It's so much better now. I still get terrible random frame drops in and around Everest and Tressler. Yeah, I mean, there's still some spots that definitely need some optimization. I'm hoping that in the future, when they're adding new locations, it'll come with all of the backbone needed to make these like whatever they do to make Lorville run as good as it does now. I hope that it just feeds into the newer locations, that they all just continue to get better. Because right now it feels like they do have to kind of go back and retouch like Everest and Tressler and optimize them a little bit more. But it'd be cool if, as we're adding in Pyro, that Pyro just performs well out of the gate. Might be might be shooting for the stars there, but one can hope, right? Okay. It's pilot ladder. They say they have a Lorville redesign incoming at some point. That'll be interesting. Like beyond just adding Maria Pure of Heart, because I
Yeah,
thought
that's
that
what it
that
sounds like. I think it's even on the tracker.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, and going back to what you're saying about Pyro, I would hope because planetary tech seems to be working pretty darn well, right? That if they've already got most of the system in place, hopefully most of the places you go there are going to be decent.
Yeah, I mean that's the hope, right?
Because I mean, I'm going to argue that they're only adding in 3D assets, but not like actual programming changes. I mean, it's going to be a planet that says places item here. So hopefully, because they're not putting a whole bunch of back end tech into it, that the system itself will be fine. Now, whatever things come with it at the time might cause issues.
Yeah, and I can definitely see like um because I've watched quite a few streams where they've talked about how they've figured out better ways to be more efficient with their lighting and stuff like that. And so I would hope that a lot of that just kind of like carries over. But if I've learned anything from playing Star Citizen, it's to be cautiously optimistic.
Right. Ah, that was short-lived on voice. I'm gonna have to get off voice. Back to YouTube text.
All right, so we are in our Anvil Super Hornet on our way to pick up the Anvil Carrack, sold at ArcCorp. I guess one nice thing about the camera not working at the moment is whenever the camera is on, I feel like I'm under the microscope. Like I have to sit up straight, use good posture, and present myself well. But with the camera not on, you guys can't see me, so I can slouch and hurt my back as much as I want. Yeah, the loner Super Hornet. So since I did pledge a Scorpius, Schlag is right. This is my little toy for who knows how long. I'm really looking forward to when the Hornet series gets its redesign, because we see the glimpses of it every time they do a ship show like the IAE, and the new Hornet just looks chef's kiss. Yeah, that's right. I don't have to put on actual clothes if the camera's not on. I could be dressed like Saul Goodman. You know, I could be wearing a full three-piece suit and a really loud tie. You guys don't know. I could also be wearing only a tie, but Hornet is such a cool little ship. I want it to be more viable. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the OGs, right? Like people that don't know anything about Star Citizen have probably seen the Hornet, and if nothing else, they might recognize Star Citizen based on the Hornet alone. So it just needs a little bit of a facelift, you know, like Joan Rivers. Like cockpit looks really nice, but there's some assets that have kind of been devalued since then, since it was first designed. Like these things on the side with the little radar dish or radar screen, like those don't really do anything. There's some other screens down by my hands over here that those don't really have a purpose. So, I mean, there's just like some holdovers from days gone by that just don't quite make sense anymore, or they need to be made useful. It's not bad, but light fighters beat it in maneuvers. Heavies beat it in tankiness and damage output. Yeah, it's kind of in an odd spot. It's kind of going for the medium role, but it doesn't have any particular way to stand out on its own. There's better options to use. You can either go for max agility with something like the Arrow or the Gladius, or you can go for higher DPS with something like a Vanguard. And probably even the Scorpius. Well, I mean, considering how much DPS the Scorpius does and its handling abilities, I'd say that it's probably a much better choice over the Hornet for a dogfight at the moment. Which, you know, I am fine with that part because I bought one of those X Wings, so I'm obviously biased, but I'm not upset about my expensive digital asset being valuable, being a good contender. All right. Who's that? I don't see the white chevron anymore. Even quantum travel works a lot better than it used to. It used to be such a pain to get any of these splines to connect. Scorpius has less pilot DPS than an upgrade Hornet, but I looked at Scorpius Q&A and they say a blade will allow the turret to slave to the pilot in the forward fixed position. Yeah, I'm really excited for once ship servers get integrated like that, so I can add server blades. I mean, can you imagine 8 size 3 guns? Or I guess it's 4 size 2 and then 4 size 3, but that is an insane amount. Yeah, I'm excited for once AI blades get implemented. That's going to be another. I forecast it being another rocky adoption because it's going to dramatically change the way things are balanced. I mean, that would make the Scorpius pretty OP right out of the gate for a single seater, basically at that point. That's true. You could replace the gimbals, and you can have 4 size 3 on the pilot. The problem at the moment is the convergence is really weird. So while it's counterintuitive, I've been finding that I'm having a lot more success having the 4 size 2s as opposed to going for the 4 size 3s. Yeah, I'd imagine they'd probably have to tune the capacitors quite a bit. So I'm off center, but that wasn't a bad landing. I've definitely seen and survived worse. They could make really nice blades that do other things to add power to the Scorpius if you want to bring a gunner instead. Yeah, like maybe they have. I mean, I'm just spitballing here, but maybe in the future you have like blades that will optimize your shields for you and redirect shields based off of where you're receiving fire. Maybe that could be an option. And maybe on bigger ships, it'll do things like reroute life support so that you can run a smaller crew. A lot of times when we talk about Star Citizen, we always talk about like future features that are like way down the road. But you kind of can't help it. There's just a lot of stuff that hasn't been implemented yet, but that we've been teased with. They've dangled the carrot in front of us. Okay, so we've got that stored. Now, let's get ourselves over to the metropolitan area. A little bit of a hiccup there. Okay. Always talking about the hopes and dreams. Can't wait to see what they come up with. Yeah, half the fun of Star Citizen is just speculating about the future. But I've said it before, and I really think that more so than ever before, we really are just on the cusp of something great. Um, I've been a backer since 2014, and in the past, it's always been talked about that. Oh yeah, we're so close to releasing all these major features, but there's clearly been some quite a few delays since that point in time. But now more so than ever, I feel like it's actually the case that there's just a few more hurdles to overcome, and then content is going to be rapidly coming out just all the time. It's such an open platform in terms of what possibilities and space magic can achieve. Yeah. What are you talking about? Space magic? Star Citizen is a totally grounded, hardcore science fiction. Everything is super realistic. I don't know what you're saying. That sounds like some silliness to me. I was watching a video today talking about persistent entity streaming, which, in layman's terms, oh boy, that's some bad server lag. I hope. Okay, looks like it recovered. We're good. Persistent entity streaming is the idea that if I put a coffee mug on the surface of Daymar, when I come back in a week, that coffee mug will still be there, if not covered by a sandstorm. So it's the idea that changes that players make will persist, and that will be the new state of the game. And there's a lot more that goes into it, but that's kind of like the top-down view. And the video that I was watching, which was just the ISC, the Inside Star Citizen, was talking about how they're actually really close to having it implemented in the persistent universe to some degree. And that has a lot of really exciting implications. There's a lot of things that are waiting for persistent entity streaming to be a reality before it can further other features. And so once that's in the game, things are going to be popping off pretty quick. Brings up some fun potential with landmines on PES. Yeah. Well, just like the civil wars in Africa, right? You just find a bunch of minefields still left over sometimes. Tragic reality of the world we live in, but that is that is the truth. All right, so here we are at Astro Armada. One thing that got my interest was the character repair instead of reset. Yes. Okay, so that was a really small section of the video, but it's actually hugely important. Right now, the only way to fix things is to completely reset your character. So, for instance, in my previous play session, had a nasty run-in with a elevator on board a reclaimer, and I died. And I died wearing some of my premium armor. So the only way to get that back now is to do a character reset, which I usually try and space these out a bit more because, it's not worth doing a reset when I've only lost one of the 6 sets of armor that I have. Better to burn through some of the other armors first. But being able to do a repair instead of a reset is very exciting to me. All right. Here we go. Let's purchase that. Woo! We just got ourselves a Carrack. So now, let's just head back to the space station. I can't wait until they add an NPC that tries to upsell you on different kinds of ships. You got to get this premium leather. In this paint job, this paint is exclusive to this dealership. You got to get it. Though an actual ship salesman would probably do quite a bit better of a job selling that. I'm not a salesman myself, obviously. Congrats, time to help new players learn the way of the bunker. Yes, this is the way. Just gotta... Oh, shoot, this isn't the building I want. It's on the other side! I want to see reputation, locked paints, and specialty gear. Yeah, so I think we were talking about this as a feature, not on stream, just kind of casually when we were playing, but I would really love to see, if you grind out the reputation for the Hurston security, for instance, because that's my home base. It'd be really cool if once you get to level 5, then you have access to buy the Hurston Security Artemex set. You know, the one with the red eyes and the maroon accents. That would be really cool. I mean, the assets are already in the game. That'd be a really cool reward for getting to level 5. And, you know, all they'd have to do is just add it as an item that you can buy if you have the reputation at like Tammany and Sons. And so like you'd still have to be in the Hurston area to buy it and use it and all that stuff, but I'd really like to wear that red armor and not get pulled over every time I loot it from a corpse. And you could also add like the Hurston Security ship paint to the reputation tree, and you know maybe that's something that you can acquire over time as well. And discounts at Hurston Dynamics for their ship weapons, that's another really good one. So you could get like the attrition series at a discount, or maybe no longer have bunkers be restricted areas for you. Yeah, I mean that makes sense too, because once you're level 5, you're on the squad. You're on the patrol. And maybe that will be something that will be implemented in some other way, because in the future, I don't think it's going to be just going from bunker to bunker. You know, we are moving towards a more dynamic surface level, you know, where, you know, the NPCs are now able to use the planetary nav mesh in order to navigate terrain autonomously so that you can have levels outside, not just in the bunkers. But yeah, having areas that are initially locked to you, but through your reputation you can get access to them, that'd be really cool. And it could unlock like FPS style levels within an area. Yeah, baby. We got that Carrack. This is a bit of a stretch, but could you imagine being able to call in a rescue squad by people you have rep with to assist, maybe on a cooldown or with a small fee based on rep? Yeah, I could see a feature like that. From I'm thinking maybe you're talking about like an NPC rescue, so that you don't have to wait on benevolent players all the time. Or okay, yeah, like a support fighter too. Kind of like the shoot, what do they call the pets in the Far Cry series? Yeah, like where you can call in an ally or an NPC ally to assist you. I mean that totally makes sense because they've talked about being able to hire AI crews in the future. There she is. Such a good looking ship. Needs some more doors to get into it, but it's a great ship. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, being able to call in a squadron of pilots to assist you, that would be a great thing, actually. Hire AI crew for persistent help, combat assist beacon if you get yourself in entangle and need temporary support. Oh shoot. I'm getting lost in my own ship. It's the habitation deck I need to go to. Ready the ship. Give it a little bit of a second to get all turned on. Okay. Y'all saw I can land that Super Hornet without having to look at the hangar, but this boy's big. I need my external camera to see where I'm going. Carrack is life in both a metaphorical and literal sense in the game because it does have that medical bed that you can use to spawn in. Oh, you hear that music swelling? The game knows. Yeah, it sounds like a chonky ship. You definitely get that impression when you're flying it. Now let's see, what would be the most fun for players just jumping in? I'm hesitant to invite a bunch of people to bunker missions at the moment just because I've had very poor luck getting them to complete. So maybe we take the Carrack into some multi-crew combat. We haven't actually done that on stream. Let's see. Go to Lyria. That'll that'll get me kind of away from the planet. Oh boy, that spool time though. Nah, you're all good, Schlag. Don't stress. Oh, gotta turn off cruise control before I crash into Lyria. Maybe this is how I get my journeyman license unlocked. Is it the journeyman that I was working on? Yeah, journeyman. Gotta clear the route. I don't know why I closed it like that. Didn't need to. Stock drive is painful in Carrack. Yeah. It's definitely going to be one of the things we'll have to upgrade again, but all in good time. Oh boy. Meet up at Port Port Ollie. Not getting too many bites at the moment. But we got a couple of minutes to kill before we actually get to Port Ollie. So still plenty of time for people to join up. But I also want to talk a little bit about the future of the channel a little bit. Um, I want to branch out and start doing some other games as well. Star Citizen is really good, and that's where I've had most of my success. But I do play other games, and so it'd be cool to get some traction going on some other streams, like maybe some 2042 every now and then, some Halo Infinite. I know once Modern Warfare 2 comes out later this year, I'm probably going to be playing that a bit. Um, as much as I love the Halo series, uh, just kind of breaks my heart the state that it's in. Did they get 2042 to work better? Yes and no. Most of the changes that I'm really excited about are still a little ways off. They have talked about basically, in a sense, doing away with the specialist system that they have in place at the moment, and they're going to be going back to a much more class-based system, which I'm very excited about, because that's pretty fundamental to Battlefield. They're also reprioritizing how they design maps and how they account for game modes going forward in the future. So all of that sounds good, and I think, in like 3 months' time, it'll be a much better game. It's better than it was at launch, but it still has ways to go before it even licks at the heels of something like Battlefield 4. I loved Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3. Those two games were fantastic. Battlefield 1 was great for the ambiance, but it just wasn't my type of gunplay. Uh, well, I mean, gunplay was really good. I don't know, it just wasn't quite my style. It was a great game, just wasn't for me. Battlefield 5 was terrible. just terrible. Yeah, they could have listened to their community from the start, but hey, at least they are trying. Yeah. Um, that seems to be the running theme in modern gaming. Like, we need developers to listen to their communities a little bit more. Right now, Halo Infinite is going through a really rocky time. People have been really excited for co-op, co-op campaign, and split screen co-op to come out. Those are, as of now, no longer being actively developed, which is really heartbreaking because I participated in the flighting, and it seems like things were working pretty well. There's just a few minor nuances that needed to be fixed. And so it's like an almost complete feature that they're just not going to dedicate any more time to until further notice, really. And that's crushing because Halo Infinite is missing so many core features that Halo games in the past have come out with that it really struggles to even be recognized as a Halo game. There's just so many things that are missing. It really does. It deserves better. Like we're well past launch date. Um, I mean, we're almost at a full year since it first came out, and we still do not have Forge. We don't have co-op campaign. We don't have split screen. We don't have anything like Firefight. We haven't had anything to replace Firefight. And I mean, the list goes on and on. There's just so many things that we used to have that we don't have. And it's like, why did you release a game without this? It's really heartbreaking, and this latest community update kind of feels like a slap in the face. And I'm trying really hard not to be totally negative about it, but it's really rough because we were excited to finally get co-op campaign, and now we're not getting it until future notice. Yeah, until further notice. That's the phrase. Yeah, Forge has been a staple of Halo since H2. Yeah. Um, I'm gonna have to take your word for it on that one. I never actually played Halo 2 when it came out originally. I've played it on the MCC, but as far as like playing Halo 2 Forge, I don't know if it was actually included, but I could be totally wrong. I did play a lot of Halo 3, and I remember just spending hours and hours and hours just playing custom games, just because it was so much fun. And that's another thing in this community update. They've talked about how Halo is an ultra competitive game, and I don't think 343 really understands what it was that made Halo great. Halo was a game that you could sit on the couch with a group of friends, up to 15 of your friends, and do a whole connected LAN party. And it was a party shooter. That's really what it was. I mean, that's what made it so much fun. It offered you an experience that no other shooter could. It wasn't as realistic as something like, I mean, if you can say Call of Duty is realistic, but it had a lot more of the fun elements that weren't necessarily so bogged down in all the militarism and stuff like that. It was a party shooter. It was fantastic fun. Forge made it. I mean, like, there were game modes that I know the developers could not have anticipated that came from Forge mode that just became staples of the genre. And we've had almost a year without Forge, and Halo has really struggled to keep its identity. I'm really hoping that they come back and they like reverse course on this, because I don't feel like the course that they've outlined is really a healthy direction. I don't want Halo to be ultra competitive. I think they really need to dramatically tone down skill based matchmaking in social playlists and just keep it relegated to ranked playlists, really. Games nowadays, they keep pushing this ultra competitive nature, and it's really not what everyone is looking for. I know it gets good player interaction because that seems to be what players are looking for, but I think that there's something beyond it where you need to give players a chance to just play casually. You know, it used to be that back in the day, Halo 3, I mean, as a kid, I was abysmal as a player. So most of the time I would not be going positive to any degree. But I had fun because I would just meet up with random people, and sometimes some of them were like really good, and I'd be like watching them stomp across the battlefield, and I'd be like trying to learn their moves. Uh, and then there'd be the once in a blue moon match where I'd just stomp everybody else, and it's like, oh wow, these people suck. But skill based matchmaking, it makes it so that like every game you have to play your heart out, or you're just going to be doing so terribly. The best level my friend made was the hangar level. Walled it off into a box, removed shields and HP to 1%, gravity low, run speed up, and it was infinite ammo needlers. Pink death, needles flying everywhere. One needle touches you, you would get taken out. Yeah. That would be. Let's see. Would that be Halo Reach? Is that the hangar that you're talking about? Reach took Forge to a whole other level. Reach was a fantastic game. It had some issues with armor abilities, like armor lock was super OP when the game first came out. But man, Halo Reach I think was probably the most complete Halo that we've ever had. It came out with all the features, they were all there, and they all worked. uh, Even with some bad balance. But since then, it just feels like things have really gone downhill. Oof, we're here. A little pro tip for you: if you cycle your quantum drive real quick, you can get the markers to pop up again, so you can start queuing up for the next one. If I could figure out where I'm trying to go, let's let's see. I want to go to Port Olisar. Okay, so it looks like it's on the other side. I just want to confirm that. Yeah, that square has got to be Port Ollie. Eh, I want. There we go. Just don't move. Yes, I know I could plot a course, and it would be a lot easier. Game 500K if my credits disappeared from this morning would have made getting that TS2 easier. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood. If I remember correctly, this should be. Okay. All right, there's Port Ollie. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Port Ollie, and I'm going to... Shoot, I don't want to server hop because my bounty might not be in the same location. But if I'm not getting any bites, I might need to just take on the bounty in a different ship. One thing this game does really well is that perception of size. I know we already talked about it, but this is a chunky ship, and it feels like it when you're flying it. It feels so different compared to flying something like the Scorpius. Right, Microtech is going down. Look lively, bounty hunters. Yeah, that's right. Port Ollie gives me the big pad. Let's see, I want to make sure I'm not going to be obstructing any other pads. I should get the landing gear down, eh? I don't know if you guys can ever hear my chair squeaking on stream, but I may have some exciting news coming out about... Oh no, that's not the elevator I want. May have some exciting news coming out about a chair in the near future. I'm very excited for when that happens. Can't give anything away yet. Mostly clicks from MKB. Okay. I wish I could say that it had to do with a sponsorship deal, but no such luck. Still pretty small YouTuber. What is that? Oh, is that one of the... That's not one of the normal turrets, is it? Weird. You like hearing the clicks? I love my mechanical keyboard and mouse. My mouse is actually a really custom piece now that everything's said and done to it. It started off as a G502 Proteus, which is the newest iteration of the wired G502. And I've hollowed out a lot of the plastic from the body, so it's quite a few grams lighter. And then I replaced the stock Omron switches with Kale 8.0 GM, I think is what the switches are called. And they're great little clickers. They've got a super long lifespan, much better than the Omrons. Um, Logitech really had some issues with the quality control of their switches, which is why I switched in the first place. But these kales are butter. They feel so good. I'm going to pull out the Scorpio so I can actually do my mission. We'll have to take the Carrack out for a spin some other time when we have some more people to play. Yeah, well, and like wireless has gotten really good as far as latency goes. Um, I think for the Lightspeed series, it's actually even better. It's either parity or slightly better than the wired stuff. Depends on the marketing claims, I guess, but you add quite a bit of extra weight still for going to the G502 Lightspeed, and I just my dream mouse would be something like the G502 Lightspeed, but significantly lighter. And then the other mod that I've made to my mouse is I designed a custom plate for the bottom. It has the removable magnetic cover, and it used to hide a bunch of weight sockets that you could like put some weights into to weigh the mouse down more, which I'm not one of those people that would do that. I know they're out there, but you know, there's counseling for that. You need some help if you're trying to make your mouse heavier. There might be something wrong with you, but anyways, um, I replaced my original cover with one that I designed in SolidWorks that makes it so that I have a pinky shelf. And the whole reason why I did that is I was finding that when I need to flick to the right, like that, you know, a flick to the right, I would be running over my pinky, and then it would totally stop my movement. And so adding a pinky shelf made it so that my pinky is not able to touch the mouse pad, and it just makes it so that my movement is a lot more consistent. So I'm really proud of that. It's a custom piece. I had to post up some pictures in the Discord of my custom mouse. Yeah, let's check to see if I have any combat beacons. No beacons. And then I also spray painted the bottom half a dark navy blue. So it's a very subtle color shift, but it's there. And so it's not the prettiest mouse in the world, because I mean, when I hollowed out the plastic, I drilled a ton of holes into the top body, and I tried to make them look like they're evenly spaced, but they could clearly be much better. Razor Naga Trinity. I don't know what that one looks like. Let's see. Razor Naga Trinity. Oh, okay. So it's like one of those more MOBA styled ones. Except it's got like the interchangeable plates. Okay, yeah, I've seen this one before. My luck with Razer has been very spotty. I haven't had the best of luck using their peripherals. I know some people really like them. I don't hate Razer by any means, but it's just the green gets to be a little bit much, and the peripherals that I have had from them, I didn't enjoy as much. But you know, I mean, they make some good stuff too. All right, got the Scorpius. I've been wanting to get a new keyboard as of late. I'm currently using a Corsair K70, I think is what it is, and it has the low profile mechanical switches, and these ones are just linear, so no super loud click. I mean, there's a little bit of a click just because you bottom out, but not nearly as loud as it could be, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not like the tactile switches. And Keychron makes an awesome looking keyboard. I really like the styling, and they have the low profile switches as well. I do like low profile. I'm kind of a freak about ergonomics. I want things to fit me very well, and everything that I've read as far as like medical research says that you should have your keyboard be flat on the table and that you shouldn't be arching your wrists up to type on it at all. So I accomplished that by using low profile keyboards and not using the feet. I try to get my keyboard as low as I can. And so I really like the low profile switches, and Keychron has one that has those low profile switches. But if I remember right, they didn't have a 10 key. I think that's what it was that was holding me up. Let me check. Keychron. And maybe they even came out with one since in the time I've been waiting. Yeah, low profile. Yeah, they've got the TKLs. They've got the K5, which is the full size. Is this one new? How long is? Oh, so shoot. It says this came out in June. Hold the phone. Well, I might have to I might be getting a new keyboard soon. I'll have to look into that between sessions. Keychron has a K5 now, and that might just be perfect for what I'm looking for. Got to go into third person for that transformation. Now we're in X-wing mode. Oh, it's so cool! I love this ship. Scorpius is bestest ship. All right, Wendell. Time to meet your maker. CIG, please, please, please add back the ability to have the screens in the top corners that show me more information. I really need to see the power triangle, and well, power triangle is probably the biggest one, but it's not enough just having these two screens visible. I need more. I need more. Should also, I know Glorious. I know Glorious makes some pretty lightweight mice too. If they have a good competitor for the G502 that's lightweight and fits all my criteria, I might try that. But those are the things that I look for. Well, and I really like the button layout on the G502. Um, Many people could probably take it or leave it, but I really like having the two thumb buttons. I use those for grenade and melee in just about every game. And then I also use the index buttons for different things depending on the game, but I use those too, and so I really like having those four buttons. I don't use the sniper button that much, but I mean that's to be expected, right? It's not a very useful one. I don't feel like. I think you just get used to just the feel of the mouse in general, as opposed to like doing rapid DPI throttles. What is Wendell flying? Will it tell me? Oh, yeah. This is how we deal with you. Please just die. Are any of these gonna hit? You can run, but you can't hide. Who's he shooting at? Don't want to hit him. Whoever you are, kind soul. Ah, that's how you take out a. Oh, come on, come on. Die, 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 die. Come on. There we go. Who are you? Thank you for your help. What does that say? I think it's a player, isn't it? Oodle. There we go. I wasn't pressing the right button. There we go. I guess I should be careful about saying players' names. You never know if it's going to be like something wildly offensive in some area that I'm just not aware of. Like, it's not offensive as far as I know, but I hate to just offend one of my viewers by saying the wrong words. Oh, I didn't have the call to arms accepted. Dang it. On Calliope. Calliope's where? Calliope sounds far. Yeah, it's at Microtech. Well, we'll probably put that off for another time. But I'm gonna go to Port Olisar, land my ship, and call it a night. And apparently, I'm gonna be looking into the Keychron K5, um, because that looks like it might be a great new keyboard. Always looking for new things to blow my money on. Microtech, that's your haunt, huh? We need to get the org doing some play sessions again. I've got all the rep I need in Hurston. Schlag's got us covered in Microtech. We need someone to cover Crusader and Area 18. Then we can just do max level missions everywhere. Conversation chat looks like it's getting a little testy. Something about the colonization of the Americas. I don't have any opinions. I don't have any political opinions at all. Don't ask me. Bounties suck there, all atmospheric only. I have Crusader bunkers at Rep 4 and Area 18, about 3 missions away from Rep 4. I like to imagine that my idle bullets just blow up stars that I can't see. Who is this? They're gonna get so blown up. No way do they last long under station fire like that. Or under my fire. Yeah. I'll let security take care of that guy. Oh, you want me to pursue the hurricane? I don't see him anymore. He lives to escape. I hate taking on hurricanes. They're the worst. I don't know if he actually had a co-pilot. That does make a difference. Like me versus a solo pilot in my Scorpius, I probably got a pretty good shot, even though I'm not by any means a good pilot. But if it's a well crewed two-seater hurricane, just forget it. Oh, that was a little bit rougher than I wanted to. Yeah, that's true. I don't have respawn in the area, so I would be lonely very quickly, and I don't have my Carrack. Well, I mean, I left my Carrack spawned here, so I don't want to just lose that. Next play session, I really want to see if there is a way to get the Scorpius to fit in the Carrack. I know odds are pretty slim, but it would just be really cool. Hard landing time for inspection. Yeah. Gotta test out those shocks. I was watching a TikTok, which I know who watches TikTok. It's gonna destroy my brain. But anyways, I was watching TikTok that was comparing Air Force versus Navy landings, and they're both F-16s. At least I think they were F-16s. And the Air Force landing is this nice gradual, just slow descent, and then taxis on the runway, and just a nice good landing. And then the Navy pilot, he's landing on a carrier, much shorter runway, just kind of like smacks it onto the ship. And the caption that came up is like, I paid for the whole shocks. Just watching them side by side was just comical, because like the Air Force, it's this kind of, it's almost graceful, if a fighter jet can be graceful, right? And then the Navy pilot just like smacks it onto the ship. So, I'm not in the military. I don't know how accurate that is. It seems pretty likely to me, given that, I mean, there's no way a carrier has the same length of runway that an Air Force base would. But yeah, Air Force gets nice long runways. That's what I think it all comes down to, is aircraft carrier very short compared to the potentially mile long runway you could have at an Air Force base. But I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight, everybody. So you know what this means. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Show your mom my videos. I'm sure she'd like it too. It can be a little family bonding time. You can watch it, put it on the big screen with all the folks. Talk about my content over family dinner. I don't talk about anything political, so I mean, like, it should be a pretty good way to get through Thanksgiving, once we get closer to November. But yeah, like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And until next time, this is Odd Job Entertainment signing off. And I really need to figure out a more graceful way to do this, because I'm going to awkwardly go over and click the end stream button while I'm still streaming, technically, but the stream is over. And please let me click the thing. Oh no. This is terrible. My last pass button is hiding my end stream button. hotkey it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hotkey it. LastPass, why are you doing this to me? Go away. Go away.